Hey, I'm Daniel,
And I'm Bobby. And together we're
the
the
DCOM
DCOM
Team.
Team.
Hey, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Bobby. And together we're the
The
DCOM.
DCOM Team.
Okay,
this,
we'll just
that's, I think,
go with the first one.
yeah, I think that's fine. Obviously
Yeah.
we're not professionals. I think that's the charm of it. That's the second time we're trying that script. This is our new intro. Where
Yeah, it's
we
the
were
second time we've tried that script. We won't say how many takes though that we did.
Either way, this is the DCOM Team where we review Disney Channel original movies from everyone's childhoods, as well as some of the new Disney Channel original movies. And there's a surprisingly never-ending catalog, so we're going to be doing this podcast for a while. And since it's the Halloween season, it's Halloween week. We're posting these starting on Monday, so happy Halloween!
Yeah, it's a huge catalog. If you can believe it, there's 111 DCOMs. Does that include the newest Under Wraps?
Yes, it
That
does.
number? It does. Okay. All
It's
right.
good.
Interesting.
That's a good teaser.
So the numbers are ticking up, but we're not talking about um, one particular movie in this episode. Since it is Halloween, we thought we'd take an episode to just talk about Halloween.
Exactly. Kind of get to know us. We're kind of debating you guys that it's just like, hey, we're the DCOM team, but we're the Halloween team. This episode, I think we'll tell you a bit about ourselves, our backgrounds, so you know who you're listening to every however often we're going to be posting this podcast. With this episode, we totally intended, like I talk so much, but this episode we totally intended to talk about the new remake Under Wraps for the Disney Channel. By the end of it, it was 50 minutes long, and you were like, you know what? We talk about Halloween, we talk about like nostalgia of Halloween. So we just decided to put it as its own episode. And since we're kind of starting up the DCOM team again, the podcast, I thought it was a good decision as it's the Halloween season. We share some spooky stories, our love of horror, and our backgrounds too.
I hope people find it, entertaining at least. Going through some of the questions about Halloween that you had, I kind of have like a boring, background, you know.
So I do too. I mean, hey, we met what in 2017 in script writing. Like we're
Oh
not very
well,
exciting people.
you and I, Daniel. I mean, we have a wonderful history together. I just
We
mean
do.
my personal background is probably of little interest to people. But I think it's fair to point out and talk about, where we met. I don't know if we've gone over that before. Have we actually
Oh,
talked about like our
I mean,
origin story?
is it much? I mean, I don't know if anyone would ever make a comic book about it, but I mean, hey, like we walked into what was it? Room 205 at Algonquin College?
I
Or
don't
was
remember the
that
room.
so obviously we don't have a Pixar A1113
Mm-hmm,
A113, but it's
mm-hmm.
N201. Either way, yeah, it's not very
Yeah,
exciting.
N201. Yeah, it was the N in front of it just rang the
Yeah.
bell for me. Yeah,
Okay.
N201.
I wanted to start a podcast talking about Disney Channel original movies because that's exactly my shtick, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, and I mean, I basically just have always wanted to do a podcast, and you were the first person to ask me. Um, so I was like, "What's a decom? Sure, whatever."
Yeah, you were just waiting, like, oh, wonder when someone's gonna ask me to be on a podcast.
Yeah, it could have been anything really, but this, I mean, it worked out well because I think you have a deep connection to the DCOM library, and I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah,
And so, we come at it from two different perspectives, so that makes for fun conversation.
I think so. I hope other people agree too. And also just to let people know, even though we kind of talk about family movies, kids movies, we're still known to swear a little bit. I mean, we're not going to be too offensive. We know our boundaries, right? Wait, no, that's your line. We're prone to swear once in
You're
a
going
while.
like so off script. So off script, you're accidentally reading my line.
Yeah, we're prone to swear once in a while.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna be too vulgar. Even we have boundaries, right?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, that that definitely felt forced.
Sure was.
Not like that was scripted or anything.
This is why I haven't written since script. at least dialogue, because that was always my worst thing. Is this my line now? Okay, I'm gonna have to read it right from it because this is kind of like housekeeping. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, we separated this episode from our main conversation of the Under Wraps remake. So if there's any mention of Under Wraps during this episode, that's why. Because we just kind of ended up bantering about our love of horror and Halloween, and what we've been up to. We'll be here for this Halloween week starting on Monday, with where we're going to post this episode, the Halloween discussion. Then our conversation about the first ever Disney Channel original movie Under Wraps on Tuesday, which feels appropriate that that's technically our second episode. So, and then after the Tuesday, after we post the discussion of the original Under Wraps, we'll post the discussion about the remake, which was released earlier this month. We'll release that conversation on the Wednesday, where we talk about the remake and incorporate elements from my interview with Phil Wright, who plays the Harold in the new film. Then we shift to our vault of recorded episodes from last year. It's been a busy 2021 for both of us, so we haven't had too much time to record. But on the Thursday, we're going to release a special interview with actor Robert Bockstael for his work on the Scream team. He plays the dad, Richard Carlyle. It was the interview hosted by me, where I did not include Bobby, but it's still a lot of fun. So
I was busy.
We'll get you in on the next one. I would like to have
Daniel's the professional interviewer. You're the journalism guy.
That's fair.
I just come on to like bash the movie after. My job.
And you'll see that in the remake episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So on the Friday, we'll post our discussion about the Scream team, and that's one of my personal favorite Disney Channel original movies. And as you can tell by the name of our podcast, it is our namesake. So that's fun. And then on the Saturday, the night before Halloween, we'll release our conversation about the Disney Channel original movie that creeped me out the most as a kid because I hate the boogeyman, and that's Don't Look Under the Bed.
Hey, sorry, Daniel, is it weird that we're doing like a week of Halloween episodes of Halloween DCOMs, and we're not talking about Halloween Town?
It is totally weird that we haven't recorded an episode for at least the first Halloween Town, but I figured that's more, like I said, we're not very prepared. I figured that's more of an event season for the second season of the DCOM team. And I think we'll strategically record those throughout the year so we can have those ready for next October.
How many Halloween Towns are there?
There's 4.
4 Halloween Towns.
Yeah, 3 good ones. One without the original Marnie, with Sarah Paxton, who I like, but she's not Kimberly.
Yeah,
I can't remember her whole name.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense to me now, though. If there's 4 of them, yeah, that's like definitely that's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. To do all of those. Are we calling this our second season?
Yeah, that's I am also glad you bring this up. Like our first season was pretty much 4 episodes with conversations about The Luck of the Irish, You Wish, True Confessions, and the Even Stevens movie.
That was rough,
man. It really was. So we were kind of still trying to find our footing with those ones. We were a bit weird in the first one. So I'm gonna re-edit those and put those up on YouTube. And also just some housekeeping. These podcasts will also be on Spotify and iHeartRadio as part of our partner site extrafeatures.ca, as Simon Watson is a sort of co-producer on these, and we're partnering with his website where I also take part in the Extra Features podcast. So yeah, we'll be on Spotify, iHeartRadio, podcasts on their website, as well as my website, filmcraziest.com. So yeah, we're on their podcast network, and then we're going to be putting these episodes on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Film Craziest. And we're going to put all the conversations on YouTube. Some are going to be video like this one. Other ones are just going to be audio. Yeah, so those will be on YouTube. We'll put links to where you guys can find these. So yeah, we'll just have this be the first official season of the DCOM team. This is the first official episode, as more of a get to know us and our Halloween favorites before really getting into Disney Channel original movies.
Okay, so the first season was like a warm-up season.
Yeah,
it was like a little like
getting our sea legs.
Yeah, like a little teaser.
Yeah,
little teaser season.
Like this episode is kind of a teaser.
Yeah,
a long teaser.
It's it is a long teaser.
Yeah.
Okay, that works. I like it.
Okay, good. So I think let's ditch the script and we'll get right into the conversation where we're wearing different wardrobes. No, so today is October 21st. It's still almost Halloween. Last time we recorded was October 7th. So
yeah, we got 10 days to go now.
Yeah, you have had the countdown has already begun. It's still going. So in the 2 weeks since, you had mentioned that you were going to watch that Muppets Haunted Mansion on Disney Plus. Did you get to it?
You know, that would have been a great thing to talk about, but I haven't seen it yet because we decided to hold off until Halloween. That's going to be our Halloween movie night, is Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. So we have not seen it yet. Have you watched it yet?
I have not. I'm not
okay.
Not a terribly big Muppets guy, but I think I would like to watch it because I like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a Halloween, right? So that's kind of like up your alley. I love Haunted Mansion stuff with Disney.
Even the Eddie Murphy movie. Oh, you don't like the Eddie Murphy movie? I don't mind it.
I haven't even seen it actually.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you gotta watch Eddie Murphy and then you gotta watch the Muppets.
Okay, I don't know if I can squeeze that in. I've seen that like multiple previews for the Eddie Murphy version.
Okay.
I had heard that it is terrible. And the previews are just a lot of red flags in there.
Definitely guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah, well, the Sean is in there. He's a lot of fun though. Might not be. I don't know. Might not be that bad with that guy hanging around. I do like Eddie Murphy, but
then there's Jennifer Tilly in Screeching at You.
I don't think I know Jennifer Tilly. I'd have to Google her. Jennifer Tilly. Oh, she's the witch's head. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. She's 63.
What? Really?
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not that familiar with her work, to be honest. I don't know if I've seen her in very much.
Okay. Moving past Miss Tilly, I feel like you kind of gasped when I said I'm not a big Muppets guy.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I love the Muppets. I don't know why anybody wouldn't. I think they're just the most lovable group of characters.
I don't think I have any deep-seated like puppet trauma from when I was a kid, but it's just something about them where it's just Miss Piggy was kind of annoying,
But Kermit
just never got
like the heart of the group. He's just so caring and kind and loving, and it just warms your soul. Watching Kermit bring them all together. It makes you feel good about it, and it's Jim Henson's legacy, who just was just the most positive guy. There's not enough of that real positivity in the world, and it is truly a case of someone's legacy being important, right? You could have a guy who's like really positive, and then he dies, and you don't have that positive guy around. But Jim Henson passes away, and you have this just franchise of Henson positivity that will be there forever. And I think that the world is better place.
Okay, well, I'll watch some more of the Muppets, and I'll keep that in mind. Other than
okay,
because the Kermit is to me he's just a frog, though. You know what I mean?
And okay,
you do be a frog.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to have this fight. We'll have to have a separate podcast.
You
fight this over.
I bring Beetlejuice. You bring Muppets for us to watch.
Okay, I mean, I don't mind Beetlejuice.
Fair exchange, I think.
Yeah.
But which Muppets movie would you bring to because I think I might have seen a bit of the Muppets Christmas Carol and I probably turned it off because it's just like, fuck these Muppets, you know what I mean?
But... Wow. Okay. Well, Daniel, that would in fact be the movie that I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, of all the movies, I think that's probably easily my favorite Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just dragged it through the mud.
Well, I mean, if you have no heart and no soul, it makes sense. And, then I would understand. I can't wait until there's a Disney Channel original Muppet movie.
I mean, technically, Muppets have Haunted Mansion would be like a Disney Plus original, right? Not the same family, but close enough, I think.
Yeah, I would. It's as close as the Muppets may get. But I would have to say that, I mean, streaming really changes things, doesn't it? But I think that there's still the Disney Channel, and then there's ABC. And I feel like, a movie like this, Muppets Haunted Mansion, like without Disney Plus, without streaming, like that would have been on ABC. That would not have been like a Disney Channel event. It would have been an ABC special. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's how it would have gone. Yeah.
My last thoughts on the Muppets would be that I don't think 8-year-old me or 10-year-old me would have liked them, but I saw like a horror movie called Frank and Zed last year that was all puppets. So that was pretty good. Not good enough for it was really good, but not. I haven't been like, oh, let's binge watch the Muppets. Like I'll get to it eventually, but it's just I everything else I'd rather watch, and then maybe then I'll watch something with the Muppets because I didn't mind the 2011 one. I thought that was pretty fun. It was Jason Segel.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, for what it's worth, I enjoyed the most recent one as well with Ricky Gervais.
Was that the Muppets Most Wanted?
Muppets Most Wanted, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Are we ready to move on from the Muppets?
Yeah, we can move on.
My last wrap-up thing from the last episode was that we've established that sometimes I ask you questions, but we forget to circle back to my answer. And I think I need to also help with that. I need to, ask you what your opinion is sometimes. No, it's not on you. I think it's just always my train of thought being like, okay, this is a fun jumping off that's on my notepad. Let's go there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I think the question was, do you remember? I think it was that because in the original film, there's that Kubat's house that's creepy and everyone scared of it in the neighborhood.
Was there a creepy house in your neighborhood? Is that what you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna.
Love to hear this, actually.
It's actually barely an answer. but I felt like I'd bring it up anyway.
I actually, like, the more I think about it, the more weird I think that is, because you see it all the time, like there's the infinite number of movies and TV shows where there's like a creepy house in the neighborhood, and I've never had that anywhere ever.
Bobby, I'm trying to answer.
So
This is supposed to be my time.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so my point is, I'm actually really excited to hear what your answer is, because I want to hear about like a real life creepy neighborhood house.
Okay, I feel like
Go for
this
it.
is gonna be a non-answer though, because sorry,
You,
that's
you
just so
let me
funny to
down
me. That's just so funny to me.
now?
I'm like,
Oh
it's
God,
my
can't wait.
time. It's my time,
Can't
man.
wait.
Um okay, so I'll start with the non-event just because I live in the suburbs of Orleans. So there's
Mhm.
really not any house that we every year all the neighborhood kids were like, hey, stay away from this place. But like I had a next door neighbor that had like lion statues on the driveway, and I feel like
Mhm.
that could be pretty creepy. But
Mm.
again, it was suburban Ottawa, so
Yeah. Well, that's was that not part of the original construction? Like, he put those out there himself?
yeah, no, I think she had them, and they kind of not gargoyles, but like just a mix of like
Mhm.
very like big statue lions. They're pretty cool. Story so
Oh,
great. Story so
sorry.
great
Your
it
your
made you
story
yawn.
just like was so boring. I'm
Wow.
so sorry.
I can give you another one. Give me one more chance,
No,
but
no, 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 no. Actually, I want to. Well, yes, you can. I would love to hear another story. I feel like it depends, like how, um, kind of how ferocious the lions were made to be in the first place, and then also
yeah.
like how worn they were. Like, if they're old and worn, then it could like seem even creepier. But I also think it's just weird to have, like, you're not even in like an old area, right? Like
No.
that's like, it's a relatively newer development.
Yeah, because that
So
that
it's
that whole neighborhood was built in like 96, 97.
right, yeah. So it feels kind of weird to have lion statues
Yeah,
in
like and like
a place like that.
with you talking about the colors, like they were like tanned, so like they were more welcoming. But like if they were gray
Mm.
and like terrifying, I'm sure that would have been that's probably what like the people are
Yeah,
listening or they're picturing, but they're like
that's
very
what I'm
tan, very
picturing.
very open,
Yeah.
so not scary at all. And I don't know why I brought it
Okay.
up at this point,
Okay. It's more
but
like, kind of more like the Vegas
yeah,
Sphinx.
huh?
The
Oh,
the Egyptian thing.
okay,
Um,
maybe.
what is it? The Mirage?
Okay,
Anyway, I
it's
digress.
okay, it's okay.
What's your other story?
Now I just have spooky stories now to tell around the campfire. And then I remember this other time where my brother and my cousin, um I forget where we were at, but it was like an event kind of thing. See, I think this was like very close after I saw Phantom of the Megaplex, and like we'll watch that eventually, but it's like a decom where there's like basically Phantom of the Opera, and like just
Mm-hmm.
like a
Mm-hmm.
ghoul in like black uh like a black coat or whatever. So like I'm just
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, like so this place is haunted kind of thing. And I'm just picturing like the Phantom of the Megaplex running behind the curtains and he's gonna get me. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't these are just non-stories, but I just remember being so creeped out by it. And like that's just really my thing to be like, I don't know if that sparked my love of horror films, but being like a little kid
Oh,
and being a scaredy
yeah.
cat. So I guess I am more like Gilbert, but now I love horror
E-
movies.
yeah. I actually, well, I like horror movies, but I'm definitely a Gilbert. Like, I am definitely like very cautious and conservative.
Okay.
I would not be the kid who's like, oh, let's go play in that old abandoned house. Like, I wouldn't be like that. Like if I was a kid and my friends were like, oh, let's go, like let's go in that house, I would never do that. I would never do that. But there is still something about horror as a genre that really draws me in. That's why there's something about the Haunted Mansion at Disney, which feels very random.
Oh, the ride itself.
Um, the ride and like the characters now and all the paraphernalia in the movies and everything. There's something about it and horror in general that like just draws me, sucks me in. And I honestly can't explain it. I don't know what it is, but it's like, I guess at the end of the day, the thing that I do know for sure is that it's fun to get a thrill.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. There's just something fascinating and about like, the dark side.
The dark side of the world.
Yeah, the dark side of the world.
Is it just me, or is paraphernalia? Does that sound like a perverted word? I know it's not, but it's a weird word.
Paraphernalia. Well, you know what I think of when I use the word paraphernalia, or I hear it. I think of drugs, like drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Like pipes and wraps and other stuff. I don't see it as a creepy word.
I don't know. It makes me think of pedophilia. Maybe just the philia part.
Well, I guess that phonetically it sounds similar. Yeah.
And now we're just making a stretch here.
But now we're way off topic.
Okay, getting back on topic. So let's do not so much flash questions, but just Halloween questions. So
okay.
Do you have, wait, let me look at this. Do you have a favorite Halloween memory?
Oh, a favorite Halloween memory. That's a really interesting question because I can only think about kind of bad Halloweens actually are the ones that stand out to me. And it's weird. I had lots of great Halloweens, don't get me wrong, and I always loved dressing up and going trick-or-treating. But I don't think I have one Halloween that stands out to me. But there was one Halloween in particular that just was I guess a game changer, as you'll see. And I went out trick-or-treating with a friend, and my friend, who was like a neighborhood kid, he was a couple years younger than me. And I felt like I was too old to trick-or-treat. It was, and it was the first time I was out there trick-or-treating thinking, I think I might be too old now. I think I might be too old for trick-or-treating. I don't know. I don't actually know how old I was. That's the funny thing. But I was probably like, in the low teens, maybe.
Okay.
I was probably getting at like 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact age, but I just remember having that Halloween and actually thinking that I was too old for it. And I think that was probably like the end of trick-or-treating. And it's probably partly because my parents and other adults always used to joke and complain about how like high school kids would go trick-or-treating, and it was like, you just got this feeling that trick-or-treating was more for the smaller kids, not for the big kids.
I like that your mind goes to like the end of your career trick-or-treating and not like costumes or anything.
No, it was really it became quite the psychological exploration for me there, recalling that memory. Do you have like one that stands out?
I mean, just with your point of when you stopped trick-or-treating. I think I was about 13 or 14, and it's just
Mhm.
I don't know if it felt like I can't remember. I don't know if I felt like I was too old, but like because I was one of those kids who would always go with their parents trick-or-treating. So I never I don't know if I ever like really like actually went around with like friends. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think at 13, I was just like, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. We can. It's not that I was a Scrooge to the holiday. I like the spirit of Halloween, even though I'm a bit of a Scrooge now. But
Mhm.
anyway, there's some good Halloween memories. I'd go around with a pillowcase. I'd mostly just go my street, the street over, and
Mhm.
then maybe hit up a couple more houses and then just go back home. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think. Oh, and there was another. So there's 3 streets I would go to, and I think that I can't really recall like specific memories, but I now that I say it, I think I specifically remember being Freddy Krueger one Halloween, and I was sweating bullets in that mask.
Mhm.
It's a rubber mask. I still remember how it smells like, and it's just like it was a great costume, but I couldn't see shit through it.
Yeah.
And I had the little fingernails too, like the rubber fingernails.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know.
Yeah.
I had the top hat. I'm pretty sure I had. I'm pretty sure. I think I've gotten rid of it. I think I've gotten rid of it, but like a couple years ago, I still had it.
Nice.
But then I realized it didn't fit me anymore, and I
Yeah.
think it's gone the way of the road now.
Yeah. And it probably stank real bad.
Probably.
Yeah. After if it stank bad when you wore it the first time,
Yeah. Yeah.
imagine what it smelled like now.
That's true. That's true. And I'm pretty sure I went as a vampire one Halloween too. Sure, I could conjure up some pictures, but
Yeah, it's so funny that I actually can't remember very many Halloweens.
no.
But yeah, I probably got a dozen photos lying around somewhere.
I specific going to candy. I think the most I remember is putting them in those big food basics kind of like not buckets, but just the what are those things called? The thing that you hold by the sides, like
If it's not a bag
I'm
or a
dumb. Um,
pail or a bucket, I'm not sure what it's called.
but fuck. Like it's just like rectangular. You hold it by this. It's like a basket, like a laundry basket, like
Oh,
a food
okay, a
basics like
basket.
basket. And I
Oh,
my
okay.
most distinct.
Oh, like a shopping basket, like the kind of basket that you grab like when you walk into Walmart
But
and you
it's
just
much
want to like one hand it.
but it's much longer. I'm gonna have to put a
Oh,
fucking picture in the
I
video.
need a photo of it.
I, I
Yeah.
oh Jesus Murphy, there's one right. Look at that. There's one. I'm gonna just bring you over.
That
Right,
is
that. Do
a
you know what that
coincidence.
would be called?
Well, that looks like a laundry basket from here.
Yeah, but it's.
But how big? Actually, can't the perspective is a little bit off. Is that how
I'm
big
gonna
is it?
get it. I'm gonna get it.
Okay, okay. That is, in my
What is?
professional
I can't hear you.
opinion.
1 second.
Oh, it says food basics on it.
You were talking to no one right there.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I realized that you couldn't hear me. That so first of all, that has a food basics um, symbol on it.
Yeah, not a
It has their
sponsor.
logo. Yeah, not a sponsor. Um, I've never seen that before, I don't think. And if you
Interesting.
were to hold that up as you did, but without the food basics logo on it, I would say, in my professional opinion, that is 100% a laundry basket. And I wouldn't have called it anything else.
Okay.
That is what it looks like to me, but it's obviously meant for groceries.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we've actually ever because like my mom will use it for files. Like I use it for candy. Like I take the pillowcases, like dump all the candy in, and then I.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was getting at. That I would meticulously sort all the candy, and I remember like one Halloween, like doing it in front of like the TV, watching Beetlejuice or Addams Family. Like,
Right.
so like that's why I'm found fond of those movies. But yeah, like so
Okay, gotcha.
that's another one of my Halloween memories. So do you have a favorite Halloween candy?
Uh, I I think okay.
Uh-oh.
I do have a favorite Halloween candy.
Okay.
First of all, when it comes to trick-or-treating goods, I don't think there was anything uniquely Halloween about anything that I got, because it's mostly just like miniature versions of candy bars that already exist. They're not Halloween specific. Like your Arrow and your Smarties and your Mars bars, and um, there were always rockets, some suckers, a few other random things, toffees and stuff like
And
that.
and for any Americans watching, when we say rockets, we mean your Smarties. We
Oh
the
yeah, your
chalky
Smarties.
candy.
Yes,
That
and I believe,
I don't think they have
what are
Smarties.
Smarties? Are they
I don't
okay? Well,
think America
Smarties are
has
like
Smarties. The
M&Ms.
chocolate, yeah.
Smarties are just M&Ms,
And according to
basically.
my friend, they taste awful because I know he got like one of those international candy boxes from Canada, which sounds so
Hmm.
funny thinking that he's in
I know.
America
Yeah.
getting,
Yeah. That's
wow,
crazy.
international candy from Canada. Wow.
Hmm.
But yeah.
It's amazing, like the different products that you find around the world. Coke is a really good example. If you ever get a chance to go to either in Atlanta, the Coke headquarters there, or Epcot right now in Orlando has this like Coke store, and you can sample um, pops from around the world.
Really?
Yeah, and there's
What
like
state
all
is
kinds
this?
of insane flavors.
That was kind of dramatic when I was really. No, sorry, I was trying
Yeah,
to.
you seem pretty excited by that. Um,
Sorry, what state did you say it was in?
well, there's Atlanta,
Oh,
so it's
sure,
Coke
Georgia.
headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I know that at Epcot in Orlando, like Epcot, Disney and Disney
Oh,
World.
okay. Yeah, I didn't know where Epcot was.
Yeah, yeah. Epcot is the park that has like the big famous ball, like the big golf ball. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking about?
the one in the Happy Madison opening for Adam Sandler movies.
No,
No,
not that golf ball. Okay, never mind. Forget.
no,
Anyway,
I can picture it in my head.
it is, yeah, like they have crazy flavors around the world that like we just don't have here.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
drink another soda again until I can get there. And
Yeah, I highly recommend it. But sorry, we were talking about Smarties and your,
yes, I'm sorry. I
yeah.
took you on I derailed you and was like, let's
I'm
take us
easy
on
to
a
derail. It's so bad.
let's take us on a ride.
Yeah.
But last thing
Yeah.
about
Okay.
the
Shut up.
America versus Canada, that one thing I'm always pissed that we only have one Captain Crunch and America has like six.
Mm.
We have original, they have
Oh.
like berry, they have everything.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't do Captain Crunch, so I'm not familiar with their portfolio. Um, but that is a bummer. Yeah, I wonder
Have a
why that is.
bummer.
I don't know why. Like, there's certain products just they don't test well in certain countries, or
Too sugary.
um, yeah, like literally the sugar
Blame
content is too
Canada.
high. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah,
Probably came out the same time as South Park. We're like, no, it's too sugary. All the moms banded together.
yeah,
Fuck
that
Captain
may
Crunch.
well be. That may well be it.
Okay,
Well,
sorry. Back to the candies.
yeah, candies. So I did have an answer to your question. Man, I am like so long-winded tonight.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I'm really chatty.
It's okay.
Um, so I actually don't remember getting any candy trick or treating that was like my favorite candy, but I like chocolate. I tend to like prefer the chocolate stuff. Anything chocolate,
Okay.
milk chocolate. Um, but I do have a favorite Halloween candy, and it is not something that you typically get trick or treating, but it is very specific to Halloween, and that is candy corn.
Oh,
And I love candy corn. love it to death. When I was in college at Halloween, I would buy like big, like round plastic buckets that were like this thick.
Now,
Just filled
sorry,
with candy corn.
do you
Eat
like
the
this?
whole thing?
Do you like the classic candy corn, or do you prefer like the pumpkin candy corn? Like the candy corn that's literally shaped like the pumpkin?
It literally shaped like a pumpkin. I don't mind that because the texture and the sweetness is similar, but the flavor is different. And I have to say I do prefer original candy corn, but I do love those little pumpkins. I do.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people hate candy corn and people think it's disgusting. I love it.
I get where they're coming from, but like, I mean, maybe when I was a kid, like candy corn, you can screw right off, but like now it's like, yeah, give me that candy corn pumpkins and I'll be fine. Oh, I can just, I can put those away.
Oh yeah, and I did. I just hammered those. I took so many years off of my life eating candy corn in college. Did you have like a go-to treat where like you came home at the end of the night and you made sure that you like separated those and like kept them?
Yeah, I'm still very partial to rockets. Like the past couple times I've gone to Sobeys, like they've been in these baskets at checkout. I'm like, lots of sugar, but I'm getting those. Thank you very much. Trying to remember which ones. Like, I think I would mostly have save the peanut butter cups for the end. I know I like the crispy one, like not crispy crunch, but the crunchies, like the little bars for the crunchies. I like crispy crunch, but it's a very different crunch. I like the crunchies better. I was a fat kid, dude, so I'd eat anything you put in front of me.
I probably ate just as much as you did. I just didn't get fat until I went to college. That's all.
Oh, it's fun when your light weight fluctuates throughout your life, isn't it? But yeah, anything really. I mean, but yeah, rockets, peanut butter cups. I'm a boring person, and it's just give me chocolate.
Well, that's I mean that's how I am too, though. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just the classics,
really. Honestly, like I was just as into like Arrow, which is basically just milk chocolate, even
coffee
like
crisp,
Jersey milk. Oh, I love coffee. I love coffee crisp.
But I think if I had it now, coffee crisp is the one where I've just mentioned it and I almost got a little bit nauseated.
Interesting.
So I don't know if I would eat that now.
Really,
but I can't eat as much chocolate anymore. So if I had to have chocolate, it has to be worth it.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah. I'm a big fan of coffee.
In general?
Crisp. Well, and coffee, yes, I do enjoy good coffee.
Yeah.
And there's the crispy ones that you were talking about. I actually can't remember which one's which, but there was one.
So crunchy is the more classic chocolate bar.
Which one has the red wrapper?
Crispy Crunch.
That's Crispy Crunch. Okay.
Yeah, and crunchy is the blue wrapper.
Crispy Crunch. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see them both right there. It's funny. I don't think I've had many crunchy bars, but I did get a lot of Crispy Crunch when I was a trick-or-treater.
I feel like
I didn't care much for them.
Than the crunchies.
Yeah, I think so too. It was for me.
That's an interesting question. Was there any candies that you would just give away? Like for me, that would have been Raisinets.
Oh, I can't remember if I ate the raisins or not.
So you just ate around the raisins?
No, so if we're talking about the little red boxes that are
I'm thinking of the
just raisins.
Oh, right. There were assholes who would give those out.
Yeah, like just raisins. I think I still ate those because they were like sweet. They had sugar on them.
Did they have sugar on them?
I think they might have had something on the outside. They were quite sweet. I remember them being quite sweet.
Nowadays, I would have an oat milk cookie with raisins. I wouldn't eat around the raisins. But when I was a kid, I was just like, no, that's fruit. You're not tricking me today, Satan.
Yeah, I definitely, like, when I was a kid, I hated it when I got raisins and cookies.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it now.
Okay.
Chocolate covered raisins, though, I'm good with. I do love chocolate covered raisins.
One I wanted to ask, like, do you know when, but I don't know if you mind bringing your personal life in, but like, do you know when Sammy's first Halloween's going to be? Or slash, like, where you're going to take him out trick-or-treating?
We've actually talked about doing it this year.
Okay.
But not like for a long time, like to go just to like 2 or 3 houses just to kind of do it. Because he's old enough now that he can handle like
he's 2.5 now?
A little treat here and there. Yeah, a little over 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so he can have like a little treat sometimes.
Are you gonna
we
dress
obviously
him up?
generally try not to give him processed sugar, but from time to time,
okay.
A little nibble on an Easter chocolate or something like that.
Okay.
So we'll probably get him a little bit of Halloween candy this year.
Are you gonna dress him up?
Oh yeah. We wouldn't take him out trick or treating without dressing him up. So we'll have to figure out a costume for him. Don't know what that's going to be yet though.
Okay.
No idea.
You're gonna take the lazy parent route. Just get a little sheet, cut some holes in it. You're a ghost, man.
No, we'll probably buy.
I forget what we were talking about right then, but we were going to get into the podcast. But just to let you know, it's 12:24 a.m. because because of our schedules, we record this at night. So we're just gonna take a break here, and then come back on October 22nd because it is already October 22nd.
It is October 22nd now. Yeah.
For time travelers. To the fans at home, but I was just saying that so Bobby doesn't have to wear the same shirt. Because he's
that's
clean.
Basically it, Dan. I mean, otherwise, movie magic, they wouldn't be any more the wise
any wiser,
and they wouldn't be any wise. What's the expression?
Either way, this is like hilariously being like oh, we're gonna pick this up tomorrow, like we're just gonna cut and then we'll see you tomorrow.
And now it's tomorrow. Yeah. You're gonna do the transition.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to do like a countdown or something.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Do you want to start from the top, maybe?
Sure. Why not? I don't know. Okay, but then we have to do this again. When we start the next video. Yeah. And then you can cut it together. Okay, we have to do it at the same time, I think. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Oh shit.
Oh, there's a delay.
It's okay. Hey everybody. How's it going?
Look at that. I have a hat on now.
We're back. I'm all showered. We're all fresh.
That's crazy how that happened.
Popping the collar.
Look at that.
It's movie magic. It's movie magic. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah, I think we stopped recording at what? 12:30 last night. Now it's 10:22 on. Now it's 10:25 on October 22nd. So we're back. To bring us back to the Halloween conversation and a bit about the horror. I think I'd love to ask, do you remember what the first horror film you watched was?
Oh, wow. The first horror film. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, the short answer is I actually don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there was technically a first. I don't know if this counts, but like I was definitely a huge Goosebumps fan. Okay. And I probably
the show or the books?
Well, the books. It started out with the books, at a relatively young age for like horror. And so I think as soon as I had access to or knew about like the TV show, I definitely watched those. And like there's a few of them that are a little bit scary, especially when you're still a kid, you know.
Yeah.
It's meant for kids, but it's still meant to be a little bit scary,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit scary for kids. Nothing too crazy, but still a little bit scary.
That's cool.
And then, you know, there's a couple classics like Silence of the Lambs that I definitely remember seeing a long time ago. But I don't know how old I would have been when I saw like those movies, like that Silence of the Lambs, The Shining, possibly on TV. So it might have been like a somewhat cut down version, you know, for television.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing The Shining and thinking, oh, that wasn't that scary. And then seeing The Shining in theaters at Halloween one year and thinking like, oh, this is like way scarier than the version that was on television that I saw. Because I think there were some things that were cut.
That's because the cut for TV versions of movies are garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would not recommend it. I mean, that used to be a thing. I don't even think that's a thing anymore. I don't even know if TV stations air movies. Like it used to be that like even the new James Bond movie, right? Like Tomorrow Never Dies, like 2 years later would be on like NBC.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know they probably still have it, but we just like the streaming now is just like, oh, why would we watch a cut for TV version of it when we could just watch
I
it?
go through the commercials.
Yeah,
I have the Bond collection on VHS, but nobody come running to like get it from me or steal it, because if there are a few of them that are recorded from television.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there was like a long period of time in my life where there were a few Bond movies that I had actually never seen the full theatrical version of it. It was just what I recorded from TBS.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn. I'd love to like watch them side by side to see what differences there are, you know, like what.
Well, anyway, so there might have been like a couple classics that I saw younger, like as a teenager. I will also just to wrap up, and all of this to say that I don't know, but I do remember one of my first Halloweens that I didn't go trick or treating. So I was like old enough that I was done. I was a teenager. I'm not going to trick or treat anymore. And so instead, I had a friend over and we watched a scary movie. It's like, well, that's what you do on Halloween now as a teenager. You don't go trick or treating anymore. You just like watch a scary movie and have some junk food. And the movie that we watched that year was like an Ichabod Crane thing, a Headless Horseman or something like that. It was a new movie that year.
Johnny Depp, Sleepy Hollow? So that would have been 1999.
It's possible.
Where was it animated?
No, it wasn't animated. So it could have been 99. I'd have been in high school.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. So that could have been it. So
I would have been 5 in 99.
5, hey, okay. 99, I'd have been around 14, I guess.
Okay.
Yep. I'm fucking old.
I'm aging you again. I'm sorry.
No, that's every
also,
podcast.
I very much enjoy how you're like, you know what? I don't have an answer for this, but I'm gonna go around the block until I fucking find one. It's perfect. You know, it's just it's very exciting for me to watch.
Yeah, to me it's like a conversation starter. So it's like, I don't have an answer, but let's talk about this, you know, let's talk it through. Let's have a conversation. Well, presumably, maybe you asked because perhaps you do have one.
Yes, I do. Yes,
You do?
I do
Okay. I
have
would
an
love to know
answer.
what it is.
It's not a big answer, but I will get to the block before you had. I think it's either Shaun of the Dead or Cabin Fever on the movie network.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Cabin Fever because I can remember watching it with my brother and my buddy, my brother's buddy Christian, who then become I've known him all my life, so he's my friend as well. But I remember watching Cabin Fever on the movie network, and I remember just having a pillow in front of my face, being like, no, 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 because I mean, it's a gross gore kind of movie, but like that's since it was one of the first ones I ever watched, it was probably why I had like the emotional it's not a good movie, but it's part of my history, I guess.
I do have I have one horror memory that like really stuck with me.
Okay.
That I think was informative in some way. I don't know how exactly, but I was at a friend's house and on the TV was it was like a special on movie magic, and
like
they were
talking
scenes? Like a behind the scenes thing on, I don't know, whatever TBS or whatever it was back then, and they were talking about, I think it was Hellraiser.
Oh,
so they were talking about like a really gory movie, and what they were doing is they were showing how they made in the movie like a zombie like tear somebody in half. So the guy's like lying on the ground like this, and the zombie just like reaches into his guts and just like pulls him in half, like legs one way and torso the other, with all these like intestines and everything coming out. And so they were just like showing how they did that.
Okay.
Which was just like obviously using like a fake, I think, lower half with the actor sort of under a platform so that his lower half was hidden. And anyway, that like really like burned in my brain for a long time, because like the actual shot was like extremely disturbing. Disturbing. And I think that kind of like put me off gore, because the kind of horror that I like is not gore horror.
So no Saw for you? So no torture porn?
Not really, no. For me, it's like the psychological, the hauntings, more of that stuff.
I've seen Hellraiser, but let me check my Letterboxd when I actually watched it. June 18th, 2016 was when I saw, the only time I've seen Hellraiser. So I can't remember that well, but if I can just plug the fact that I did an interview for a movie called Paintball Massacre, and Nicholas Vince, who plays the chattering Cenobite, was on that podcast. So I'll plug that in the top if you want to check that out. I might actually, since it's Halloween time, I might actually make an edit of that interview and just post like the parts of the interview where Nicholas Vince is talking about his time on Hellraiser, because that could be interesting.
That people would love that.
I think that's a good idea for stats, I think. Now, I hope I didn't interrupt your train of thought too much, but I'd also like to ask. Now, you know what? Actually, you had said like you prefer the paranormal and stuff.
Yes. It's really hard to describe. I think probably like some slasher elements are okay.
Okay.
But if it's just like all gore and violence, then it's not really for me.
Okay.
But like I love Hannibal, the character. I just love Hannibal. Silence of the Lambs, probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Like you mentioned in the first half of this episode.
Did I bring it up already? Okay, I don't remember. I was not wearing a hat then.
Oh yeah, you didn't have your thinking cap on, eh?
I didn't have my thinking cap on.
Okay.
And so when fast forward a little bit to the actual movie called Hannibal, I feel like that one has a little bit more gore in it. And that's when you have Ray Liotta has his head cut open, and he's like, so that's
Right.
pretty
Right. Okay.
pretty intense, and it's like around probably where my limit is, but I just love Hannibal so much that I was willing to sit through that. Another good example I gave already, The Shining.
Right.
Classic,
Movie.
wonderful horror movie.
Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time. I watched it with my mom. I think I was about like 12. My mom made me put a pillow in front of my face when the creepy old lady was in the bathtub. And it's just like, this is like, in hindsight, it's like, Mom, this is not a sexual scene at all. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's creepy old lady coming out of
Yeah,
covered in goo and moss and death. I mean, half of it's kind of sensual, but anyway. Now, if I can just share one of my anecdotes, just because, like, me, like, I'm a horror level.
I thought this was just me talking.
Oh, yeah.
Am I not supposed to be the only one talking?
Only chop liver. Only chop liver here.
No, go ahead, Daniel, please.
Yeah. No, like, because it's interesting, because like in Under Wraps, right? Like Gilbert's scared of his own shadow. Like Marshall loves horror, and I think it's interesting because, like, I feel like I have both traits of it. Because when I was a kid, I said, like, watch even Cabin Fever. It's not a scary movie, but I had the pillow in front of my face because of the amount of gore. And probably similarly, I don't know if I had a pillow in front of my face for Shaun of the Dead, but like, that's just a fun movie. I love that movie.
Shaun of the Dead, I would even hesitate to call that a horror movie. I think it's just like, it's kind of like it's comedy.
Horror comedy, because it's in the group of satire, right? With like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Scream, and all those, right? But
absolutely.
Where was my? Yeah, but like, it's funny because my first horror movie in a movie theater, like I would not see The Conjuring, I would not see Insidious in horror in theaters, just because, like, I haven't even seen all the paranormal activity movies. I think I watched the first one for the first time like last year, just because, like, I'm not big into the hauntings, but like my first horror movie in theaters was Scream 4 in 2011 when I was 16. And before that, I had considered Disturbia the first horror movie I saw in theaters. But that's like a jump scare thriller. But that's why I love that movie a lot, because like I remember like that scene when they're going down the highway, the car pulls out and they crash, like they sideswipe the car and the dad dies. Like that was like one of like the biggest like big jump scare moments of like my childhood, because I think it came out in 2007, so I would have been what's 6 plus 6, 12. I would have been 12 when I saw it.
Wow, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
that's pretty young.
Scream 4 would have been my first horror movie, and even that's not that scary.
Yeah, I don't find there are a few like 90s slasher movies that I just don't find scary.
Scream, one of them.
Yeah, and I think Scary
some...
Movie is to blame. Like, I think Scary Movie franchise. How could I forget The Exorcist? Also one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
And when I saw The Exorcist, I had already seen I want to say Scary Movie 2 or 3.
It's 2 where they
2. Yeah. So I saw Scary Movie 2 first, and we all laughed, and it was hilarious. And then I saw The Exorcist. I was like, this is hilarious, because like this is like, it's actually incredibly similar to what is in Scary Movie 2. So a lot of what was happening wasn't scary to me because I had just laughed at it in this other movie.
It's actually really funny because I have 2 good stories from that, because it's actually really funny that you bring that up, because like Scream is one of my all-time favorite movies, but I saw Scary Movie before I saw Scream.
Yeah.
So, but I
it really changes
Scream. It's just, it's not that I find Scream any less scary. Like I think it
Yeah.
has a lot of good jump scares. I think it has even I've seen it a
Jump
dozen
scares, yeah.
times, and but I think jump scares does make it qualify as horror because it's like slasher, but it's tongue in cheek slasher, right? But
Yeah.
it's amazing. I just love how it dissects like the horror genre. But anyway, but Scary Movie 3, the one
Mhm.
where the ring is the main thing there.
Yes.
I saw Scary Movie 3 at a hotel in Toronto when my cousins
Mhm.
from Alberta came up one year, and
Mhm.
we had bought Scream 3. No, sorry, The Ring, fuck me. Scary Movie 3 on pay-per-view when pay-per-view was like
Mhm.
a thing people actually used. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I remember pay-per-view, yeah.
it it horrified me, and that was the satire of it. So I haven't watched Scream. I haven't watched The Ring to this day,
Yeah.
but I feel like that's a scary movie. The Ring, like I want to watch it, but it's like, and it's not like it's like, but like it's like shit. If the Scary Movie 3 scared me enough, like not yet. Do you know what I mean? Like not yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So like um I would say the same. I think I can't remember if I saw the real I ended up seeing the ring or not. Um one that comes to mind that's I guess kind of similar in its effect anyway was The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh yeah,
And
because that's the one they do
and
in the fourth one.
yeah, and then movies like that, and even like Paranormal Activity, which it's funny. Paranormal Activity, I think it was Paranormal Activity 2 that I saw in the theater, and I hadn't actually seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it's actually relatively tame. It's just that you're constantly waiting for something to happen, and it just builds so much anxiety, and
Yeah.
that's what the experience is. It's just like waiting to see something, waiting for something to pop out. There's literally a scene in and why I say literally, there's a scene in that Paranormal Activity 2 where they put a camera on an oscillating fan, and so
Okay.
it's the middle of the night, and the camera is just going back and forth like this from the kitchen and back over to the dining table and then back over to the kitchen. I have 2 rooms or something like that. Anyway, like a camera on the fan. So like every time like the camera would stop, right? And then the fan would start moving again across the room. And you're just like you're waiting as it pans back over like to see something or something to be there. And I don't think anything even happened. I think maybe there was some weird thing where like some cutlery flew around or something. But it's like
All right. Okay.
it's almost only good once. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you know where all the scares are, then it's not as exciting anymore.
Oh, I know
Um,
where all the beats are for Scream. I know where all the beats are for Cabin in the Woods, but
yeah,
I still love it with all my heart.
yeah. I mean, there's still great movies, and to
I see
you
what you
know
mean though.
to be honest too, like they do a really good job. And like I say that I like horror, but like in the theater watching some of those scary movies, I am literally the guy with my hands over my face. I'm
Okay.
just like slowly peeking out sometimes, waiting, because like some of that shit is scary.
Yeah, like the Hereditary, like when you like I don't know, did you ever see
Haven't
Hereditary?
seen Hereditary.
Okay, well
No, I
there's a
haven't seen that one.
scene like one of my favorite moments in the theater, the scene like there's a scene in the movie where near the third act, the mom is like in the corner of the room up top, and you
Mm-hmm.
slowly see her because before Hereditary, I don't think a lot of people studied shadows in the background, and it was such a great moment because it's like the theater collectively gasped, like not all at the same time, but like
Yeah,
when they as soon as they saw the figure in the corner of the room,
yeah.
everyone started to be like and then I saw it, I was like and my mom never saw it. And then yeah, I don't
uh,
know, it's just so that was like a great moment, so
it's
it's
it's so fun though. I mean, like
fun.
That's what it's all about.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's so awesome.
Now, so yeah, like, what do you remember? What the first one you saw in theaters would have been?
First horror movie that I saw in theaters. I don't think I remember.
Okay,
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know that I actually saw many horror theaters.
many
I
horror
didn't
theaters.
see.
Okay,
Excuse me. Yeah.
fucking
There's
idiot,
probably are
can't
horror
talk.
theaters out there.
You know, for
Um,
sure.
I'm sure there's theaters dedicated to like just horror out there.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think I saw any horror really in theaters until I moved out to Ottawa. Um,
Have I dragged you to
yeah,
any?
I don't
No,
think
because
so.
we've only
No, I
seen
don't think we have.
Parasite and The Incredibles 2 together. I don't know if it feels like it should be more that we've seen together.
Yeah,
But it's not.
I think probably, but
Yeah.
nothing scary, I don't think.
No, nothing. I mean, and they go down in the basement in Parasite. That's pretty intense, but not scary.
Yeah, Parasite is intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like, yeah, that's definitely, you're wondering what the hell's going on for a while there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a borderline horror.
Yeah.
Borderline
Thriller for
horror.
sure. Arguably.
Thriller for sure. So, but I think that it was probably something like I saw The Shining here in Ottawa, in theaters,
Oh, that's cool.
just as a Halloween thing one year. Went to see The Shining,
Did you see the Doctor
and
Sleep in theaters? Or Doctor Sleep in general?
I have not seen Doctor Sleep yet. No, because I would like to very much would like to read the book first.
Okay. I have it if you want to borrow it.
I've got a copy here too, actually.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, fucking
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But thanks for offering.
No, all good. Now, like,
And then we both take awkward sips of our water.
now, are there like, did you ever see The Island with Ewan McGregor and his early career?
Yeah,
Scarlett Johansson?
I have seen The Island. Yeah.
I think that's
Yes,
one
I
of
have.
like the early formative things that I don't know if turned me off of horror when I was younger, but like
Mm-hmm.
I've struggled with anxiety my whole life, right? And I didn't really know I struggled with anxiety until about 2012. So like I saw The Island in theaters in 2006. I think that's when it would have been either 2005 or 05 or 06. And
Okay.
the scene with the organs when they're actually like bringing Mike, like when they're bringing Michael Clark Duncan, when they're dragging him down the hallway, and
Mm-hmm.
like they're gonna be like, then they take like organs, like they're operating on everyone, right? Because they're
Mm-hmm.
clones, you know. But like I remember like just being really anxious watching that and just being like no, and like I don't know if that's like a formative memory that like turned me off of horror for a little bit, you know what I mean? But like I don't know why I bring it up, but it just I feel like that's like one of like a non-horror movie that freaked me out when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Interesting. That's basically like kind of what happened to me with the Hellraiser thing.
And I think I really think it turned me off of like medical trauma. So like whenever I see like anything involving like surgery or
Mm-hmm.
like surgery and horror, I that's the one thing where I'm like, no, like I'll watch
Yeah.
it, but I'll be very honest. That's the one thing that makes me most uncomfortable in horror,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting.
I'm with you there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I generally tend to like avoid gory stuff.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm a big fan of DCOMs because like I was a big fan of movies like The Little Vampire or like movies
Mm-hmm.
made like family horror movies like that one, right? So
Mm-hmm.
did you have any favorites of like that nature or like maybe a different or you can either answer that or like a different question where like was there any like non-horror movies that you had that really freaked you out? Like because like I think for me like I probably would have considered Pirates of the Caribbean a horror movie when I was a kid, at least some of the scenes.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. There's another movie that comes to mind that is certainly considered a thriller, I think. And it probably came out when I was a teenager. Would have been one of the earlier sort of like really adult movies that I saw. But I can't remember what it was called. But it was with Harrison Ford
I love guessing.
and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Air Force One? No.
No,
It's
no,
not
no, no.
Pfeiffer.
No, it's definitely
Oh,
Air Force One.
it starts with a W. I just watched it earlier this year. One sec. What Lies Beneath?
Maybe that's like the famous line that actually showed up in Scary Movie, where she's like, she's starting to suspect something. It's like, who? Your wife.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
That's from that movie.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I saw that when it came out. Now, I don't know if I saw it in theaters or if I saw it like, months later on VHS.
Oh, the VHS days.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
2000, probably still VHS for us then.
Yeah, I think Prisoner of Azkaban was the last movie to ever come out on VHS.
Oh, and what year was that?
In theaters, October 2003, so probably April 04, maybe.
Wow, that's for sure. That's the last movie that ever came out on VHS.
You want to vet me?
No,
I
I'm just
said
like, that's
vet,
an
not
incredible.
not vet.
No, I'm just thinking that's an incredible stat, an incredible piece of trivia. I didn't know that.
I'm gonna vet myself actually. One sec. Okay. My internet is slow to load.
I mean, because there are probably still movies today that, like, for nostalgic reasons or for like collector's items or whatever, like that people have made on VHS.
Yeah, that's true.
Just for fun. I know. I can tell you the first DVD that I ever watched.
Really?
Yeah. We had we got a computer as a family. Finally,
actually could have been History of Violence. That was the last one on VHS. I thought.
Okay. Oh, History of Violence. Interesting.
That was in 2006. Yeah, apparently, according to the internet, it's History of Violence, but I don't know why I thought it was Harry Potter.
Maybe it was the last Harry Potter movie that was released on VHS.
You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. So it's a lot of sense, and that makes me feel a bit goofy. Here I am thinking I'm busting out such a stat, but it's probably the last horror Harry Potter movie released on VHS.
Yeah, no worries. I'm glad we figured that out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying? Before
Oh, you want to hear the first DVD that I ever watched?
Sure.
Because that's the one answer that I do know, and that you
okay.
have not asked me, but so I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
The first movie I ever saw on DVD was Gladiator.
Ooh, I haven't watched that.
It is a wonderful movie. Highly recommend it. We had just gotten our first computer. We were a little bit behind everybody else, but we finally got a computer, and it had like a DVD player in it. And so one weekend I went and I rented a movie. I rented Gladiator. I don't know why I picked that one. And I got a big old bag of Hawkins cheesies, and I brought her home, and I sat in a chair in front of the computer.
Yeah.
And I put my feet up and I watched Gladiator on DVD. And had some
that's really fun.
Yeah, it was good. That was a good memory. And it's for that reason that the DreamWorks jingle like will be stuck in my head forever. Because I'm pretty sure
the one with the one with the guy fishing from the moon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Am I confusing that with Shrek?
Somebody once told me the world will really roll me.
No, but Shrek was oh no, Shrek was DreamWorks.
It was 2000, 2001.
Okay,
I think
so
that was that was the
feel
first best animated feature for the Oscars. That was the first year that they introduced it.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Not until one. Yeah.
Um,
The more you
I'm
know.
just trying to find out. So I'm really going.
As you're vetting that, can I share an anecdote?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It wasn't the first DVD I watched, but that brought to mind like I remember when one car that we got, like a minivan, and it had like one of those maybe like 8-inch TVs, like the little flip screen. And I remember the movie Whale Rider being in it. I never watched it, but it was a free DVD that came with the car because the last owner must have forgotten about it.
Interesting.
Never watched it though.
Yeah, never heard of that one.
Yeah, never watched it. Never watched it. Did you find out what you wanted to find out?
I did, yes. I do see, in fact, that one of the production companies on Gladiator was DreamWorks Pictures. Okay. So just reinforcing, I have that. Composed by the one and only John Williams.
Yeah, I was gonna say composed by Bobby Strate because that didn't sound anything like it.
What? Why? Yeah,
no,
that's because
just...
you were saying over. I like to think I have great tone and pitch.
The good news is we won't be sued for that because it's our rendition of it. Yeah, it's the DCOM Team special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you were humming over me too? You were trying to sabotage?
No. Yeah, I was making it sound worse. Yeah. But my last anecdote before we end this podcast and get into Under Wraps, I think the most depressing thing is the fact that I don't remember the first movie I ever watched in theaters. Like I think we've narrowed it down to probably Toy Story 2 because I was born in December 96. No, I was born in December 94. I was gonna say 96 there, but no. My brain. Wow. I was trying to think, oh, maybe I was 6, but no, my brain gets in front of me. But yeah, no, Toy Story 4. Fuck you. Did I just say just Toy Story 4?
You just said Toy Story 4. Fuck you. This is what you said.
Exactly. Toy Story 2 came out in 99, so that was probably the first one I saw in theaters, but like the first memory I have of watching a movie in theaters, or at least going to go see it, was probably Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. But I'm pretty sure I would have gone before 2001.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the first movie was for me.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I saw Val Kilmer's The Saint. But that wouldn't have been the first one that I saw in theaters. I saw Titanic.
Okay, 97.
97. Yeah. No idea. Wow. Now, it is sad. There's like a lot of movie questions that you've asked, Halloween questions. They're like, I don't know. I don't remember.
I think that's just like
so many things I don't remember.
I think that's just a sentiment where it's just like, do me a favor when you bring Sammy to his first movie at a movie theater, just write down what it is. Just because, like, I don't know if he'll grow up to love movies like as much as we seem to, but like I think that would just be like a special moment, just to be like, if he ever asks, just you have a definitive answer. And I'm not trying to tell you how to parent your kid, but like I think that would just be a cool moment.
Yeah, I think I agree that that is very useful. In fact, myself, perhaps if I ask my own parents, they might actually know.
Yeah.
Because I think parents remember those things better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are just such like everything. Yeah, parents remember a lot of firsts for kids.
I think so. Yeah. Some don't, but like I think mine would like narrow it down. Like I'm sure they probably wrote it down somewhere, but my mom does not have a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll wrap up this. I think this was a very interesting, like reminiscing. It's kind of like, because I feel like this is what happens every intro, and it's just like it's kind of nice just to shoot the shit, kind of reminisce a little bit,
Yeah, definitely. I think this was essentially just like a giant, like super long intro.
Yeah.
To a normal episode.
That's turned into an episode on its
and we just like, yeah, so it's just an episode on its own. We got to let it breathe a little bit.
I think that was it for our Halloween episode. So welcome back to the DCOM team. This has been like pretty much not technically, but pretty much the first episode. So you can.
Yeah, this is like our relaunch.
Yeah.
I do want to share one thing, if I may plug something.
Yes, sure.
I'm kind of replugging it because it's a little bit old now. But anyway, it is appropriate for this Halloween season. In a little publication called Creatures in Canada, published by Lichen Valley Press, a little indie press in I think Tacoma, Washington. So apologies if I have that wrong. You will find a story by yours truly, my very first short story publication. I got like $50 US, something like that. 54 US.
63 Canadian.
You 63 Canadian. Yeah. So check it out.
When did that publish? Because I think you told me about that last year.
Yeah. It's been out for like a couple years now, I think.
Okay.
I knew that there was this publication coming out looking for stories about creatures in Canada, one from each province.
What province did you get?
Sorry, I submitted one for Manitoba, and that was the one they took.
And what was it called? The short story for Manitoba?
The short story is called Grand Rapids. Yes, a little town that I didn't actually live in Grand Rapids for too long, but that's where my first memories are. It's sort of like where I, my consciousness awoken. And I spent the first few years of my, remembered life living there.
Very cool.
So I did a little creepy story about Grand Rapids.
Nice. And then the book is called Creatures in Canada.
The book is called Creatures in Canada. Yeah, by Lichen Valley Press. And I think that's on Amazon. I can get that on Amazon.
So yeah, like find his work at Creatures in Canada. You can find that on Amazon. Bobby sent me the link, and I will put it in the description, I think.
You bet.
Now, to address this is video, and Bobby's name says Brendan Strate. So friend Bobby to friend? Wait, how do I say that? Like friends to Bobby to friend.
Yeah, I guess that's a little bit confusing because you call me Bobby. Well, not just you. Friends call me Bobby, but you seem.
Did I call you Bobby in script writing? Because I can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember either, to be honest.
I think I just transitioned into it.
I think you well, I feel like you always have.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part you have, yeah. Maybe at first when we didn't know each other that well, you might have,
like day one, like, hey, Brendan.
Yeah, like and probably, yeah.
I feel like I said that like aggressively. Hey, Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan sounds weird.
See, like, I think the only time I ever refer to you as Brendan is when I'm like, hey, Brendan from Brandon, Manitoba.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only time.
Yeah. That's a fun fact, and that's how I got my nickname, actually.
You got your nickname Bobby.
Yeah, it's a very, very confusing way to get to that nickname.
I don't think I've ever
but
heard the story. Do you want to tell it?
sure, no word of a lie. My friends first started calling me Bob because I am Brendan of Brandon. So Brendan of Brandon quickly became
I just got
B.O.B.
that.
and
I just
then
got that in my head. I'm
yeah,
very slow.
and so and then people just they just started calling me Bobby from that point on. It's
That's kind of
very
fun.
It is a fun it is a fun thing, yeah.
Kind of
It's
stuck.
and it's weird to think about how like so many of my close friends call me Bobby, and like where that actually came from.
Because yeah, it's like it's
Super bizarre.
very much of a leap from Bobby to Brendan, or from Brendan to Bobby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool, actually. I like that story. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries.
So yeah,
Glad to share.
we'll put the link in for Creatures in Canada. We'll put the link in for my website, Film Craziest. We'll put in the link for my socials at Daniel Prinn. I think we'll be making a Twitter for the DCOM team. I'll put in the socials for Simon Watson's website at Extra Features Podcast on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube here, which is where you are watching this currently. I'll put it podcast on my website, Film Craziest. We'll probably put the podcast on Simon's site, extrafeatures.ca, and we will be on Spotify and iHeartRadio. I'm not sure when. I will coordinate it with him, and because I think Kevin handles the putting that stuff on that side of the podcast, but we're part of their network. Excited to be back doing these DCOM teams because they bring me joy just catching up with you and shooting the shit a little bit. I like it.
Sorry, I was distracted. What did you say? I was Googling creatures in Canada. I was trying to find the link for you. I was like, oh, I want to find that now.
That's fucking funny.
I'm
keeping
so
that
sorry.
in.
What did you say? Something nice?
Yeah, that was a little bit nice. I was just saying that I like that we're back doing these because they bring me joy. I like just talking with you and catching up.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's nice to have. I like chatting about movies. I don't get to talk to anybody, like when I can't remember the last time I got to have a serious discussion about a movie with anybody. Of course, I haven't been to the theater in like 2 years now, so
yeah, we gotta do that.
Yeah, Bond.
We'll do Bond at one point this year.
Yeah, definitely happening.
Okay.
So cool. Yeah, no, I'm happy to be back too, and like I feel like, to be completely honest, I feel like in our sort of teaser season, we hit up maybe some of the weaker films in the DCOM lineup.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to getting into more of it.
Cool.
Yeah, happy to be back, Daniel.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy to be back to work.
Right on. And I am very much looking forward to discussing Under Wraps.
Yes,
twice.
It's 11:35 p.m. October 22nd. We're gonna get right into that right now, actually. So I feel like it's the most awkward thing trying to end these. Do you know what I mean?
It is tricky to end. I agree. I would say.
Should I just cut you off mid-sentence for comedic effect?
That would be